Modes can be very confusing. They not can be, they are very confusing. Even though the mathematical structure of the major scale is very stable, when you start to look at that structure, whole step, half step, whole step, half step, when you start to shift that structure, even though it's stable and the intervals haven't moved, you're looking at it through a different lens, and now the intervals have changed from your point of view. Already I'm so confused. If you can't hear them, and they're not a valuable musical tool for you, then I would suggest studying them and trying to understand them is possibly a waste of time. Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. Today you will learn the Phrygian mode. Like I said, modes, if you can't hear them and you don't understand if you like them, and therefore whether or not they're useful to you, then maybe the study of them is not necessarily something you really even want to waste any time on. The Phrygian mode specifically let me just give you some information about the Phrygian mode. First of all, it's the third mode in the series. In other words, all the modes are the major scale built off of varying degrees of the scale. The Phrygian mode is the third mode in the series. So we're going to be in the key of A, sort of A Phrygian is where we're going to be soaking today. So we're actually in the key of F, right? We're using the F major scale, F, G, A. But as a frame of reference, those notes from the F major scale listened to and referenced to the note A make up this Phrygian mode. It's a minor mode, so it's built off the third. It's a minor mode. There are 4 minor modes: Dorian, Phrygian, Aeolian, and Locrian, and there are 3 major modes, and this is already too much information. Let's just listen to Phrygian and see if we even like it. Phrygian mode. Here we go. We're going to be in the key of A. A Phrygian. A Phrygian. Phrygian is the third mode, so it's actually using the notes from the F major scale. F major, ending on A, with an A sort of tonal center, gives you Phrygian. Okay, I'm going to start with the architecture, just give you the fret numbers. Then we're going to harmonize it, sort of see which chords it creates in what order. And then I'm going to show you how to unlock it, and we'll just play with it for a minute. Starting on the 5th fret of the E string, we're in the key of A Phrygian here. The fret numbers are as follows: 5, 6, 8, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 5, 6, 8, 5. That's the Phrygian mode. Now I'll harmonize it real quick. If you don't know what harmonizing is, check this video out. That's how you basically harvest chords from the scale to find out what chords it produces and in what order. So I'm going to go quickly. If you're not familiar with it, go check that video out. From the 1, you get a minor chord. From that 2, which is only a half step above, flat 2 is what I would call this. Minor. From the 2, major, 3 major, 4 minor, 5 diminished, 6 major, 7 minor, and then back to the root. And again, for grins, we're really using the notes from the F major scale. But here we are in Phrygian. Interestingly enough, those first 2 chords, minor and major, really define the mode, absolutely. And in fact, they represent the chord progression that actually evokes the mode itself. So that's 1 minor, a minor chord on the 1, followed by a half step up major chord. So that's really the way you get Phrygian to sort of come about, sort of to evoke Phrygian, is with minor 1, flat 2 major. So I've got that in my looper pedal here. So we'll just listen to the mode here a little bit. See if you recognize this. Ground control to major tom. Take your protein pills. That's David Bowie's Space Oddity. This really isn't, but that's Phrygian for you. There it is. I mean, it's a pretty interesting mode, right? It's very, very unique and very flavorful. But there's not much else to it. So there's Phrygian. Interesting sounding mode. Very unique, right? Very deep and mysterious. But it's also fragile. So Lydian and Phrygian are what I would call soaker modes. You know, when you hear modal music, this is what I'm referring to as soaker modes. When you play that minor 1 chord, and you go up a half step and you play a major flat 2, right? If you don't have that structure, it's like Phrygian vanishes. It doesn't even exist. If you play those 2 chords and then suddenly you play an F major chord, the whole thing breaks down and suddenly, boom, you're here, F major, and it's like Phrygian vanished. It's like, where did it go? So interesting, right? It's a very specific, very strong harmonic signature, but it's extremely fragile. So you have to soak in it. You just have to play that cadence over and over again and just sit in it. You can't just brush by Phrygian, and you can't just drop in. You have to get on the bus and stay on the bus for a while. I've tabbed all this stuff out. That's on Patreon if you need it. And of course, any support there is greatly appreciated. If not, just get your looper pedal out, or in the next jam session, play that minor 1 chord, up a half step, major chord. Do you Phrygian or do you not Phrygian? That is the question.